Good evening and welcome to the daily reflection from Salisbury Cathedral for Monday, the 14th of June. I'm Canon Nigel Davis, the Vicar of the Close. It's been odd, really, that my reflections have often coincided with announcements about the COVID pandemic. And today there's going to be an announcement. It may well be more interesting than what I have to say now. But as we know from all the information that has been leaked, it's likely that we'll have a further 4-week period of lockdown. Anyway, the other good thing is that as Boris is speaking to us at 6, you can listen to this and watch this and then turn over to BBC One or whichever channel it is and watch the news. I don't know about you, but it feels rather strange going out still, even as things have loosened up and we can do more. It still feels to me that there's quite a lot of things to process. We go out, we still have to social distance, we wear our masks, but I always looking at people picking up the way of life that they have had to put down and wonder about their backstories. What's happened to them? Obviously, many people have been affected by grief. Many people's livelihoods have been badly affected. And so there's loads of stuff that people have to assimilate and process during the coming weeks and months. There are problems there which just won't go away and which have to be dealt with. Levelling up and building back better, we're told, they sound great, marvellous sound bites, but they need to be achieved, and it has to be achieved by dealing with the problems that people have faced. So in the rush to move to the new normal, we don't want to leave people in the dust and leave them behind. We don't want to forget people who are still going to be struggling and suffering as we clamour for our holidays. During lockdown, like many people, I'm sure we escaped to TV. Certainly, I watched quite a bit of TV. And now, even though we may have to delay leaving our houses more regularly for 4 weeks, there is always football to watch, which should keep us going. Now, I'm a fan of Sean Bean, the actor. I suppose that might well be because when I was married on honeymoon, we actually saw Sean Bean at the Shakespeare Theatre in Stratford-upon-Avon. So I saw him in Romeo and Juliet. And then, of course, he's made many appearances in film and television. He was Sharp on television. And then I caught up with him in Lord of the Rings. He appeared in the first series of Game of Thrones. I watched him in the Frankenstein Chronicles. And I've watched him most recently in the O2 advert doing the voiceover and the Yorkshire Tea advert. He's done lots of serious and gritty stuff. The first thing that came to mind was The Accused, and in that he was a cross-dressing teacher. Then he appeared in the series called Broken, about a Catholic priest dealing with the problems people faced in an inner city area. And now he's appearing in Time, about a teacher who is serving a prison sentence. These three stories, these three series, were written by Jimmy McGovern, who is noted for his gritty realism, as it is called. Broken, which came out a couple of years ago, was turned into a Lent course by Paula Gooder, the Canon Chancellor at St Paul's in London. It was quite a difficult watch, and certainly it posed many questions which those who came to the Lent course had to grapple with. It showed the inequalities that exist in our society, how those who are struggling struggle more and more, and how the system seems to prevent them from getting what they need. The inequality has been further shown to us by the COVID pandemic. It has shone a light on these inequalities and the desperate plight that some people are in. Time, the most recent one that's 3 episodes in, or will be next week, is very gritty and is a very tough watch. If only half of what appears to be happening in this prison drama is true, then our penal institutions are sadly lacking, not because of the warders and things like that, but because they are crowded and because the culture there is unable to be changed because of a lack of funding. And in our institutions throughout the country, we've seen how funding or the lack of funding has had its effect. The NHS, education, housing, welfare, the police, local government, youth services. The list is long. Underfunding produces many of the problems we see in our society and certainly in this television series. Lack of resources over time has stopped these institutions making things better. They have been robbed of capacity. COVID has seen unprecedented sums of money being made available to help sidelining political dogma. It was necessary, but the dogma of political parties was put to one side. And I found myself wondering what would have happened if these sums of money had been made available before the pandemic and given to these various institutions. I look forward, as we all do, to the ending of the life limiting guidelines. My comfortable life will be even more comfortable when I can do more of the things I enjoy. For those who struggle, ending lockdown will not free them, as they will still be shackled by the inequalities rife in our country. Teaching about the kingdom of God, Jesus said in Matthew's Gospel, this is recorded, "For to all those who have, more will be given, and they will have an abundance. But from those who have nothing, even what they have will be taken away." Difficult words coming from Jesus's lips. I hope that he was being ironic. I think that he was recognizing how things are, but not wanting them to remain the same. And certainly, as someone who believes in things being improved, I think as a country, as a world, we should be doing better, that we can do better, and we must do better. Thanks for watching. Have a good evening.